Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Naomi. Let's dream about beauty. Today I am going to show you my extensive eyeshadow collection. I have, I think, like 107 palettes. I have a spreadsheet that I keep track of all of my palettes, and in fact I also do color coding. So on my spreadsheet I, as closely as I can, reproduce the color story of each palette, and then I can quickly look and see if I'm looking for greens or I'm looking for blues. I can quickly scan all of the palettes. So that's a project I'm working on that's pretty fun. Anyhow, so eyeshadow is my favorite game in makeup. I love doing eyeshadow. It's what I'm best at. Contouring's not my strong suit. Base, not really my strong suit, but eyeshadow, I'm pretty good at. Anyhow, so yeah, so stick around and I will show you my eyeshadow palettes. Let's get to it. Okay, so the way I'm going to do this is by just going around the room. So it's no particular order. I'm not going by brand. I'm not going alphabetically, although I could. I'm just going to go by what I have and where I have it. So this is the Dose of Colors Marvelous Mauves. Oh, and the other thing I should say is I'm not going to show any of my BoxyCharm, BoxyLuxe, Boxy Premium palettes because most everyone has those and you've all seen them. I really like this. I love the color story. I think the eyeshadows are blendable. I haven't used it a lot, but I really love this color story. So I don't know why I keep all of these plastic things. I don't know. It just seems kind of silly, but I always think, oh, maybe I'll regret it if I throw it out, because somehow I feel like the palette doesn't feel complete. Leave a comment if anyone else feels that way. So this one, oh, I'm not going to show it. I got it in my BoxyCharm. This one is a new one. This one is the Blue Realm Velvet from Stila. Oh, I used it. I love it. It's so pretty. These colors are like not only up my street, they are literally parked on my doorstep. That's how much I love this. Blue Realm Velvet by Stila. And by the way, you guys, I am like obsessed with my eyeshadow palettes and I keep them very clean. So if my eyeshadow palettes don't look used, it's because I just keep them really clean. And also because a lot of them aren't that used. Last year was a really tough year for me. I suffer from depression, anxiety, and migraines, and insomnia. So I love makeup, but last year I did my makeup maybe once a month. It's so hard to use everything. Anyhow, this I picked up my first time when I was in Ulta in the States. And you guys all know this one, Dose of Colors Francation. It's a great palette. It's a little bit warm toned for me. I prefer cooler tones. I haven't used it a lot. I didn't find this particular shade to be as amazing as some people seem to say it was, but to be honest, I haven't really given it a really good chance. So maybe as I use it, put it in my Shop My Stash, I will have a better opinion. I keep my ABH palettes in their boxes just because I feel like they're really prone to getting dirty. And see my aforementioned comment about how much I hate dirty palettes. So I really love this palette. I used it when I first got it, and I got just an amazing look, and I was blown away. This was my first I never know to say Anastasia or Anastasia. What do you say? Anyhow, ABH, let's just go with that. So this was my first ABH palette ever. And I love it. Like, I love this, like, I love cool toned eyeshadows. So this one is by far my favorite out of the 3 that I do own. So that's the Sultry palette by ABH. And the Norvina palette. You know, I love how they do this with the box. It makes it so easy to open. The Norvina palette. Okay, so, you know, I haven't used this. I've had it a while, and I watched a video by Jenluvsreviews, and she talked about how much she liked this one, I think. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm thinking of something different. But anyhow, I do like it. I do like the color story. This color right here is, ooh, I love it. So I am going to use it. I'm going to put it in my Shop My Stash. And like, yeah, everyone seems to like it quite a bit. The shimmers are pretty. So that's that one. The Carly Bible. This is my 3rd Anastasia Beverly Hills palette, and I don't particularly care for this row because, as I maybe said before, I'm not really into warm tones that much. But this row, I had to have it, particularly for these 2 shadows right here, Jode and OA. And by the way, Carly is so right when she says OA is such a good show. I loved it. I haven't watched the 2nd season yet because I'm waiting for a great, cold, blowy Sunday when I can just snuggle in my bed and binge watch the entire season. So anyhow, that's that one. I've used it a couple of times. I liked it, and I look forward to using it more. You know, I've watched 1,000 of these eyeshadow palette collection videos, and nobody ever tells me that, like, I'm talking so much, I feel like I'm out of breath. I obviously need to, you know, be a little more fit in order to do these videos, it seems. I didn't know that was a requirement. This is the Happy Hour palette by Stila. I think it's beautiful. It weighs as much as a brick. I use it to, you know, throw at my husband when he makes me mad. I'm kidding. I would never, ever throw my eyeshadow. I only throw my iPhone at him. I'm kidding. I don't throw anything. Haha, that's not true either. I literally took my shoe off one time. It was on my foot. I was so mad. I took my shoe off and threw it at him. He's pretty good at ducking. Anyhow, I love this color story. It's cool toned. It is not only at my street, on my doorstep, it is on my couch. Like, that's how much I love this color story. A lot of these are topper shades, so if you're expecting a lot of color payoff with these shimmers, some of them are better than others. But anyhow, I just love playing with it. Like, it's so pretty. It's visually so appealing to me. Anyhow, and you know, I am a fool for packaging, really. So that's the Stila Happy Hour. They have another one just like this, After Hours, and it didn't really appeal to me just because it was I don't like the color story as much. And the last one in this particular pile is the Naked Reloaded, and I have it in the box just because of the fabulous case. I haven't used it too much. I bought it because, well, in Canada, Shoppers Drug Mart has the most amazing loyalty program, and I love that I can go buy groceries at Superstore, and because I have a large family, I spend a lot of money on groceries, which gives me a lot of points. And then when they have the bonus redemption, I can literally go and buy $300 worth of makeup for free, and it's amazing. So anyhow, that's how I got this one, because I was looking for stuff to use my points on. I hope my husband doesn't watch this, because, you know, he would be like, you could use your points for groceries too, you know. And I'd be like, oh, I know that, but I like makeup. Anyhow, this reminds me, and everyone was talking about how much this one was like sultry, but I find them quite different. And actually on my spreadsheet, when I did the color analysis of the two, they were quite different. But either way, this would be a great palette, I think, for traveling, because if you took it with a nice colorful palette, like say a couple of the ColourPop 9 shadow palettes, you'd end up with, you know, something you could do, because when I don't do straight up colorful eyeshadow looks very often. If I'm going to use blue or green, I tend to put neutral in my crease and then the bright color. Oh, sorry, I'm probably completely blinding you with the mirrors. If that's the case, I apologize. Anyhow, as I was saying, yeah, I love traveling with a palette like this, and then in conjunction with the colorful palettes, and then I can do a colorful look where I do, you know, neutral in my crease and then the bright colors on my eyelid. So that's usually how I like to do it. Okay, so now we've got our next group of palettes. These palettes, I think this collection from BH Cosmetics, in my opinion, was really underrated. I really like these palettes. I just think that they're very functional. They're small, they're easy to travel with, and you get a good variety of shades. And I like the highlighter. So this highlighter is like, it's beautiful. So, you know, I think a lot of people thought that they were boring, or I'm not really sure, lacked in creativity, but I just think they're great. So this is the mini Zodiac collection. I do have the full collection, so that was the Aquarius, the Pisces. Looks like that. This one, I do like this color right here. This kind of mauvey, browny shades are something I quite like. Anyhow, so I like this one. I'll just show them all to you. Some of them I do like the color stories more than others. Like, for example, this is something I might use in the summertime. But honestly, like, I don't have a lot of shades like this. I think that orange is quite nice. Let's give that a try. And my personal zodiac sign, I am a Taurus. I like this one. I do like gray eyeshadow. I mean, the color payoff on these is good. The shadow quality is excellent. And I do really, like I said, I mean, the highlighters, look at that, has a slight greenish tinge to it. Unfortunately, this was limited edition, so I really shouldn't talk it up too much because I don't think that they're available anymore. Very good. Oops, I don't think Virgo is supposed to be right there. I was going to try to do this in order of the... If anything else, I will say that this taught me about the order of the zodiac, because before I didn't even really know. Gemini, Cancer. So in my opinion, I mean, you can see that these are not very big, like the size of my hand, and you could take 3 different ones on a trip with you somewhere, and you could do almost an unlimited number of looks. Leo, Libra, Scorpio. Currently my moon is in Scorpio. So I do have some Scorpio tendencies. Sagittarius. I love this one. I just think it's so pretty. I'm excited to use it. And last but not least is the Capricorn palette, which I think is the reason that everyone was really disappointed in it, because they thought, oh, how boring, because it was just neutral shades. But honestly, I like neutral shades. I think neutral has a place in the eyeshadow game. So there's all of those. And now I'll grab another pile of palettes and we'll keep moving on. Alright, now we're back with our next stack of palettes. This is my only Marc Jacobs palette. It is called the Stiletto, and I bought it because, well, I really enjoy this color story, and I wanted to try out some Marc Jacobs eyeshadows. I've used this once and I liked it. I don't know if I would buy more though, because I think that they're a bit expensive for what they are. This palette is one of my favorite in my collection. I just think, I don't hear a lot of people talk about it, and I just think that it's super easy to use. One of my favorite ways of doing makeup is neutral transition color in my crease, and then just a pop of color on the lid. I think that's pretty common. A lot of people like that. And in here you've got 1, 2, I think 3 mattes, and then the rest are just a combination of different types of shimmers. But they're high impact shimmers. They look great. They're easy to use. So yes, I really like this palette. And it's very travel friendly. I mean, it's a bit big, but it's sturdy. So you can travel with it and not be afraid it's going to get broken. I have the Sweet Peach palette. This is one of the few palettes that I've hit pan on, one of the shades. I really, really loved this palette when I first got it. It was actually the first palette that I picked up after I started watching YouTube videos from beauty creators. And I used it a lot when I first had it, because I didn't really get into my eyeshadow buying craze until maybe 3 or 4 months after I had this. So for a while there, it was a very used palette. Probably the only thing I didn't like about it was that I found that some of the shadows, especially the shimmers, got hard pan quickly. But if you didn't know, if you get hard pan, you can use Scotch tape, and the Scotch tape will adhere to the areas of hard pan and lift them, revealing the new eyeshadow underneath. And so I tried that little trick and it worked really well. So that's the Sweet Peach. I had to buy the gingerbread palette. I was originally going to buy it for my daughter because she loves gingerbread. But then I ordered this actually I ordered it, I live in Canada, I ordered it from Ulta, and when I got it, it came with this particular shadow, which is called Frostbite Me. It came with it broken. Interestingly enough, I think this is the worst shadow. I've seen a lot of people say it. It's just very chunky, very powdery, and it doesn't adhere well to the lid at all. Anyhow, my first palette was broken, so this shadow, anyhow, Ulta sent me a new one, easy peasy, and so I had originally bought it for my daughter for Christmas, but I just ended up giving her the broken palette with this color that was broken, and then I kept this one. So there is an ASMR channel that I really enjoy. I can't remember what it's called, but I will either put it on the screen or in the description box. And she did a great video with this palette. And I grew up in quite a religious household, and my dad didn't think Barbie was a very good role model for young girls, but man, I wanted to have a Barbie so badly. And when he finally deemed that I was old enough to have a Barbie, I played with Barbies all the time until I was about 12 years old. So Barbie is a huge part of my childhood, and I just had to have this, and I think it's really pretty. There's some great shadows in here. It's not something I would probably use a lot, but I did buy it because of the Barbie aspect. One of the biggest hits of the fall was sorry, it's not coming to me, this new collection from Melt. I felt the other palette was a little bit too warm toned for me, but this palette is beautiful. Oops, I had to blind you. I'm excited to give it a try. I am excited to create some looks. I don't do a lot of red eyeshadow looks, so I'm interested to see what I can create with that. I love the dark colors. Those greens are, the greenish blue colors are so pretty. So I'm really, I haven't used it yet. It's quite new for me, so as I'm sure it is, well, it is for everybody. I got it just before Christmas. This was an impulse buy for me. I was shopping on Sephora one night when I couldn't sleep, and I saw this and I thought it looked really pretty. I've always been a fan of Violet Voss. It's the Violet Voss Best Life palette. I apologize because sometimes I'll say this palette, but I assume most people who are watching are pretty familiar with most eyeshadow palettes. I know I love watching collection videos. Anyhow, rainbow palettes I find to be intimidating. I do prefer monochromatic looks as opposed to color blocking looks where you have a lot of different colors on the lid. So I find that a color like, or a palette like this is a little bit intimidating, but in the summertime or when I go to Vegas in March, I'm definitely going to that didn't make any sense. I'm probably going to take this palette with me and give it a try. Although I do understand that March in Vegas is not exactly summer weather, so I may not be ready to do bright looks yet. I do have a fear of doing overly bright eyeshadow looks because I'm not exactly young anymore. I'm 47 years old. And if you guys remember Mimi from the Drew Carey show and her bright blue eyeshadow, I have a fear of looking like that, and I don't really know why, and I have to get over it. Anyhow, this is the Berries and Cream Dominique Cosmetics palette. I swatched it in store one day at Sephora and I decided to buy it. I do like the color scheme, color story, and I think it's super fun to use. Dominique Cosmetics has very, very good quality shadows, so I think, you know, the eyeshadow quality of most companies, like I don't find brands that, I mean, I don't own a lot of palettes from the drugstore, like Maybelline or NYX, but I find most indie brands are doing excellent quality, high street brands as well. This is my favorite palette from BH Cosmetics, or one of my favorite. I think the quality of it is just excellent. One of my favorite eyeshadow looks I've ever done, it was using the browns, the neutrals in the crease, and then these two blue colors, and it just turned out to be beautiful. So if you have not tried this palette, I highly, highly, highly recommend it. It is interesting because it has this side of highlighters and then the eyeshadows. You could in a pinch use these two as bronzers as well if it suited your skin tone, but I honestly think that this is a great palette and it's affordable. Do yourself a favor and pick it up. I don't think you'll regret it. Moving on to the Galaxy Chic palette from BH Cosmetics. I love these palettes. Oh, have to pause one moment, please. So yeah, sorry about that. So this is the Galaxy Chic. These baked eyeshadows from BH Cosmetics are really, really good. They have good color payoff. You don't need to foil them. They're beautiful. I have one of them except Solar Flare, and I only have one of the smaller ones. The Solar Flare is just, the color story is just kind of not my thing. But this one, ooh, those blues, and these two, and the two purples, they are my favorite. I just love it. So yeah, that's that one. This is one of my newer palettes. This is the Fairy Lights from BH Cosmetics. I think this is a great palette. I haven't used it a whole bunch, but I am looking forward to using it more. I think BH Cosmetics is a great company. I mean, they just have great eyeshadows, affordable prices, and yeah, I can see the thing I like about this one is when I look at it, I can see 5, 6, 7 different looks that I could do. So yeah, I'm looking forward to using it. A Supernova. This is another one from one of the baked eyeshadow palettes from BH Cosmetics. I do like, it's a little bit more cool toned, which is cool toned colors, that's my thing, that's my jam. Love this palette. I like the white, the silvers, the darker colors here. This particular one is nice as well. So yeah. And the last one in this particular stack is the JolieBomb.com. And I was watching a channel called Ccosmetic Chaos, and I'd never seen a palette before with, and now I know that there are quite a few of them available, but with the pressed glitter, I hadn't seen that before. And I know that, so it was an eyeshadow palette collection video from Ccosmetic Chaos, and when she showed it, oh my goodness, when she opened it, I just died inside. And I just stopped what I was doing, paused it, went to Jolie Cosmetics, and I ordered this palette. I've used it 2 or 3 times. I have no problem using glitter on my eyes. I know people say it's not safe, but yeah, I'm a risk taker, what can I say? Anyhow, I love this, and I actually just recently bought a mixing medium. Hopefully that's focusing. I recently bought a mixing medium, so I'm looking forward to maybe making some of these adhere a little bit better with using a mixing medium, so that should be fun to try. Anyhow, so that's it for this stack, and guys, this is it for part 1 of this video. The other part 2 should be up in a few days. Anyhow, I hope that you enjoyed looking at my eyeshadow collection. I hope you enjoyed my collection as much as well. You probably didn't enjoy it as much as I enjoy it, but maybe it was close. So I appreciate your time. Time is the greatest commodity we have, and for you to spend a little bit of your time with me makes me feel very special. So thank you, enjoy, and take care.